So today I saw a documentary. It's in theaters right now. It's released by Fox Searchlight called Step. It's directed by Amanda Lipitz. And I liked it, but I also have some reservations about it. I'll say the things I liked. I liked the three main girls that the film focuses on. It's set in Baltimore, filmed during the 2015 2016 school year at the Baltimore, what's it called? The Baltimore, shit. It's a charter school. There it is, the Baltimore Leadership School for Young Women. It's a charter school, all for women, with the goal of having them all go to college. It was founded in 2009 with sixth graders, and this follows the senior class, the first senior class, and mainly follows three girls who are in the STEP team and also applying to college. Whether, by the end you find out, like, are they going to get into college and are they going to win this big STEP competition, much like Sister Act 2. I thought the girls were very interesting. I liked that they showed the range of their families and how those family dynamics play out in their schooling and in their life in the STEP team. I also liked that the documentary attempted, maybe not the best job at it, but attempted to sort of situate the time in which this was made, as this was right around when Freddie Gray was murdered. And so that obviously had a large impact on the Black community in general, but in specifically the Black community in Baltimore. And there was one scene I particularly enjoyed where they visit his memorial and they talk about how mainstream news really showed a lot of the property destruction. And one of the girls was like, but the local news showed everybody doing all the cleaning up and the fixing, and how news can really shape a narrative, and what is a story at the local level won't necessarily be the story at a larger level. And I thought that was a really interesting look at these girls' lives in general, because everyone who sees and knows them in person is probably going to see a different thing than like the statistic that they are in general. And it's kind of true for everybody. People who know you much better than when you're pulled out and just a statistic. Where was I going with this? Oh, but what I was reading about the film afterwards, and discovered a few things that I'm like, maybe they should talk about this in the documentary. One of which is that the director, Amanda Lipitz, her mother founded the school. So she knew about these girls. She knew about this school because it was her family's school that was founded, right? So there, I'm like, maybe talk about that. Talk about the founding of the school. Talk about why the school was founded. Talk about the socioeconomics of that neighborhood a little more, because none of that is really touched upon. The other thing that I was a little wary about is they sort of touch a little bit on one of the girl's mothers. The girl's name is Blessin, her mother's mental illness, but they don't really delve into it in a way to show how not only is it affecting the girl's ability to function, but it's also she's inheriting some of these problems, and they touch on it a little bit, but not enough that it made me go, like, this is a discussion, especially within the Black community, that is often not looked at. Like, there's a whole section in Atlanta, the film Atlanta, or the TV show Atlanta, that addresses this very issue. And they don't talk about that, and they also show the church being a really big part in one of the girls' lives, but they don't really talk about the impact of that. And they had like a few other girls floating around in the background. One of them was like a Black Muslim, and I feel like that might have been an interesting person to talk to, especially given where we're at in 2017. So there were some choices that I thought didn't quite work. Like, you can have three main people you're following and still fill in the background a little bit more. But this is this director's first documentary feature, so you got to give it some leeway, I guess, because she's learning the ropes, But there were just a few things that I feel like could have delved a little deeper and that could have been fleshed out more. Instead, really, what you get is, and I made this earlier in this review, Sister Act 2, where you've got kids struggling through adversity. Nobody gave anybody some Rilke, but like I was waiting for that scene, and then they like spoiler alert, win the big competition at the end, and it really did kind of feel like a documentary version of that of Sister Act 2. Um, and like we have Sister Act 2. I feel like there were a lot of missed opportunities of elucidation that weren't in this that I don't think the production was quite interested in doing. So I guess it wasn't, I think, the most interesting way to tell this story, and that's on the director. But I want to repeat that I thought the three main girls that they talked to were amazing, and by the time they were graduating, I was crying, and seeing them all go off to college like gave me a lot of feelings because I love to see people try for something and do it. There's a great scene with the college counselor, um, where one of the girls is like, "I'm trying," and she's like, "No, you're doing it," and I'm like, "That's great. Like, remember that. Don't say you're trying. If you're actually doing something, you're actually doing something. You're not trying. You're doing." That's Yoda, actually, right? That's what Yoda was saying. Like, trying is doing. Therefore, there is no trying. Um, that's your deep piece of wisdom for the night. Regardless of its flaws, I think this is a fascinating story. I think these girls are really inspirational, and I think you should check this documentary out. It's called Step. It is out in theaters right now, um, by Amanda Lipitz, and I really hope this one girl. She's like really great at dance, and I'm like want to see her name on like a Broadway, you know, at the Tonys, like winning a choreography Tony in like 10 years. Like that's my hope because she really has great dance moves, and that's seemed to be her goal. And I hope she does it because this documentary made me like really invested in her journey. So this was 2017's Step. You should check it out. It is in theaters now.